Hey Divya, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Lisa Marie?
I'm doing really well, partially because I am so excited about our collaborative book project that we're working on. So I'm doing pretty
Awesome.
good. One of the reasons why I wanted to have a chat with you today is to just sort of understand like where this whole thought came from, right? Like, why did we decide to collaborate and write this anthology together? But more importantly, what I want to do is get your take on it because you are the one who brings to the table, of course, a wealth of knowledge about book coaching and writing and all of that. But even more importantly, ever since I've known you, which is over 2 years now, can you believe that? We've known each other for over 2 years. Um, you've always talked about make your message a movement. And can you describe for me what that means? Like, what is that? Make your message a movement.
Oh, Lisa Marie, what a great question. So, for that, we have to go back a little bit, back in few years back. And listeners, viewers, and Lisa Marie, I'm not that ancient, by the way. When I'm talking about, we have to go back. So, I started out in science world. And for me, I always had this dream that I would research this medication that would save millions of lives. And of course, I wanted to do that. I was part of research. But from the research, being a scientist, I moved into leading multi-million dollar projects and working on process and development and doing research and managing projects where we were responsible to bring the medications to the market. And always what happened was, in the end, somebody was waiting for that medicine, somebody who would really, really benefit. And then there would be so many weekends, days, evenings where I didn't even realize it, that I had been working straight on for so many hours. Sometimes we would work through weekends, but having that somebody waiting for us at the end made it all worthwhile.
Hmm.
So we knew that we had a message. And what it became a movement, because when you're connecting with somebody's heart, when you're there, when you know that, yes, you are making a difference in somebody's life, so many people are involved and it becomes a movement.
Right.
And from my coaching time, the first book, I can't even tell and share the joy that we had felt as part of our book royalties for my first anthology. It went to a little girl in South America who dreams of being a doctor. And that was so close to my heart. And when I did that anthology, I said, what a beautiful way to give back to the world. What a beautiful way to become the moment rather than just have your message go out there and impact people. Why not make it a movement? And from there, this idea originated. And what I had been doing for past several years, a lot of royalties that come from my book goes to Kiva. And Kiva is so near and dear to me because it's about empowering people, energizing and educating people. It's about teaching them how to fish, not just giving them the fish. And beauty of Kiva is you can go on their site, you can see who do you connect with, and you donate a smallest amount. You can even donate up to $25. And usually what has happened is year after year, the money comes back to you. They return the loan. And think
Wow.
about the power. It's the recycling. It is the best recycling of empowerment I've ever seen. And that's where all this comes from.
Wow. Wow, that is an incredible story. So you quite literally went from working in the science industry to managing all these projects where people were essentially going to receive a medication and recognizing that within you there was this deeper calling, right? Like you knew there was a person that was actually attached to the outcome of that, drug trial or whatever it was that was going on. And then when you transitioned into the coaching world, you carried that same sentiment with you and realized that you could impact people not only within a local community, but even on a more global scale by sharing your message and becoming the movement, essentially. Is that right?
You captured it beautifully. And think about it. As part of our anthology, right? All the writers, they are going to join forces. We are going to join forces. Any royalties that come off this book after expenses is going to go to Kiva. And as the stories come out, we will be keeping all of our authors involved. That who we have picked out, who we have sent the loan, when it comes back. So the journey is just the beginning. It's not, this anthology is not the end. It's about the beginning of a beautiful relationship that we are going to develop as a community. It's not that we just come together, we write the book, and then we all go different ways. No, we are going to become friends. We are going to become community. And together we can empower not ourselves, but we can empower so many others across the globe.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's a movement. What do you think?
It's amazing. And I have to say, even before all of this, I've always adored you. We got along very, very well from the first time we met on the Life Coach Radio Network, which is where, we were doing our shows together back in the day. And, there's always been something even within me, like a deeper longing and a calling to create something much larger than myself. Right. So yes, I can share my story over and over again about the things I've gone through and how I've overcome them. And that's wonderful and that's good and all of that. But to be able to actually take it, like you said, take the message, quite literally turn that into something physical, tangible, and then to donate all of the royalties from that project, minus the cost, right, to an international organization like Kiva. I mean, that's just amazing. It's an amazing concept. And had I not met you, I probably would not have heard of Kiva. I mean, I'm very well aware of a lot of different charities and organizations, but you opened my eyes to Kiva. And when I started to research it, I just knew that right from the beginning, this book collaboration that we are spearheading is that that's what it is. It's something so much bigger than ourselves. And all of the writers who have joined us and who will still join us, it's just going to be an incredible experience. It's so much more than just, write your story, give us your story, we'll publish it, and that's it. Like, that is not where this ends. That is where this begins, right?
Right. This is the beginning of a continuing journey of empowering, energizing ourselves. Whenever I talk about it, I get so energized.
I know. I can see how excited you are. And I get excited too,
You are too, because, Lisa Marie, I have adored you too. And that heart-centeredness within you, where you are just all about helping others, and that passion within you and working with heart-centered people, that's what drew me to you. And it's amazing that, think about it. Ours is just not a collaboration. It's a sisterhood. We are developing this circle of sisters where it's not just a business relationship.
Right.
And I will tell that as I started writing my book after book after book, and my last book that I wrote, The Entrepreneur's Garden, it's all about relationships. We are together through thick and thin. And that support, it's priceless.
It is priceless. You've been there to help me personally and professionally. And that in and of itself, I mean, like you said, it is absolutely priceless. It's not that we just do business stuff together. I can pick up the phone and call you any time of day so that you're going to be there for me. And, I would return the same to you. So I agree. It is so much more than just, signing a contract and a formal agreement and saying, okay, we're going to create this little product and ship it off and, just sell it. It's not about that. It really is about making a major impact in the world and utilizing whatever has happened to us and the skills that we've learned in order to overcome or unlearn, right? As the title of our anthology is, aptly named. It really is about this process of unlearning, messages and stuff that we've been given through society. Maybe we've sort of been just we've inherited them through our childhood, young adulthood, and we have gone through hell and back, some of us, right? I know I have several times, and being able to overcome those things is what makes me so passionate about reaching out to other people to help them overcome their struggles. And so with this anthology, it's just like a perfect match. Like everything I've ever envisioned all coming together.
And I remember you telling me almost a year back that, Divya, I want to do this anthology, The Art of Unlearning. And when you coined that term, it's so beautiful, the art of unlearning. Mm-hmm. How did you come to that?
So believe it or not, this idea originated, the art of unlearning itself, right? Because that is becoming a movement. The art of unlearning came to mind actually almost 2.5 years ago when I first began my coaching journey, and I was on the Life Coach Radio Network. I was doing a show with 2 other co-hosts, and we were just talking about how to overcome, just feelings of, not being good enough or not having the right skills or talent or enough money to be and do whatever you're supposed to do in the world. And somewhere in that conversation, this term I used, and I said, it's almost as if we have to unlearn, the lessons we've been taught, whether overtly, covertly, whatever. We're all taught something as we're growing up. And for many of us, we get a lot of mixed messages, such as, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not smart enough, you're not, whatever it is. And as a result of that, we come into adulthood being wounded, and we make decisions based on the wounded self that we are. And it isn't until we can actually unlearn those lessons or those, teachings that were presented to us. It isn't until we can unlearn them that we can truly step into our fullest power and really claim who we are in the world. So there is this process that has to happen. Often it's a lot about forgiveness. It's a lot about forgiving yourself for making decisions that you made when you were in that wounded state as an adult. But now that you know better, you do better. It's one of those things. And my whole life's purpose is to empower other people to do just that, to break through, their fears, to help them overcome, life's greatest challenges, and realize that they are strong enough, they are resilient, they can do this. So I get just like you got super excited and all jazzed up when you were talking about the little girl in South America and everything. I just get really, really passionate when I'm talking about helping others just to become the best possible version of themselves. At the end of the day, that's what it's about for me.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And Lisa Marie, you live it. It's just not that you talk about it, you live it. And that's the part of it that, we have all lived through these experiences. And when you live through these experiences and you come at the other end, you're transformed. And it doesn't mean that you're not doing the unlearning every single day. We all do that. We unlearn and relearn. And that's what we want to bring to the world, is these powerful stories of these powerhouses. Anybody who has that story, who has overcome that challenge, think about it. Somebody's waiting at the other end to read your story. And when they read the story, they are going to identify, it's me. And if, let's say, one of our authors' name is Jane. If Jane could do it, I could do it.
Yes.
And that's the power of the book. And I can say that I love writing books. Initially, I did not. It took me almost 6 months to write my first anthology. Went through so many doubts, went through so many fears, doubting myself. Oh, can I do it? Can I not do it? And from there, I decided I'm going to learn from the masters and see how I can write it. And did lots and lots of learning and had coaches and So what happened was, as I went through that, I developed the process, and now it has become so much easier to write the books because that process is there, and I know that I can lean on it. And as we talk about writing, Lisa Marie, I loved your book. You want to share about your book?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, I want to touch on your awesome success as a writer. Hello, international best-selling author.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I actually was in an anthology just about 2 years ago, and maybe about a year and a half. And that was my first go around with becoming a published author. And at that time, someone else was spearheading the campaign, but it was a book about becoming an entrepreneur and doing it in a soulful way, doing it in a way that was intentional and on purpose, right? So that was what the book was called. It was Abundantly You on Purpose in Business. And when I was approached by the lead author, the anthologist, to participate, I was really hesitant at first because I thought, who am I? Like me, little old me, this is before I was like, on a larger scale and everything. And I'm thinking, who am I? Like, what story do I have to share? And then it just came to me that I needed to do this project. There were so many signs from all over the place. Even though at first I was scared and I said no, God definitely led me in a totally different direction. He was like, nope, you're doing it. And I tried to get away again. He was like, nope, you're doing it. And so I did it. That book was really, really incredible. I got to work with some amazing authors, got to know them really well, some that I'm still very close to today. And it really was a sisterhood. In fact, we kind of joke and we say the sisterhood of the traveling authors, right? Instead of the traveling pants, right? That whole play on words. But that was my first published book. And then since then, I have done a lot of blogging and a lot of guest blogging. I've written for the Huffington Post. I've written for Thrive Global. And then, of course, the list just goes on and on. So I love to write as well.
Yes. And I want to share your fascinating journey, how you got to be this, contributor for Thrive and Huffington Post. I know you're very humble, but I'd love for you to share that.
Well, it's actually, there were two things that were definitely on my bucket list, and I knew that I was going to go after them. And I learned again, like you, that there is a process that goes on behind the scenes, and you do have to, at some point, just be fearless and reach out. You've got to make your proposals. You've got to present yourself in the best light. And just know that if you've done your best and they're what you're looking for, then it's a good to go. I was accepted into the Huffington Post first. And then when Ariana left the Huffington Post to start Thrive Global, I, of course, applied to be a contributing blogger there as well. And because I already had an affiliation with the Huffington Post, it was very natural that Thrive would then want me to work with them as well. But that's been an amazing experience. And I'm just getting sort of amped up and ready and, really understanding what goes on behind the scenes. But it's been pretty incredible so far. And then, of course, there's Shift, Advanced Life Design magazine, where that quite literally fell into my lap. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and took advantage of an opportunity that was presented to me by the owner and editor of the magazine. We happened to be on a group networking call, and he was talking about it, and he said, I'm looking for really good writers. Is there anyone here? And he kind of spotlighted me, and he said, Lisa Marie, can you write? And I said, I think so. People have told me I can. And he said, great. He said, send me something by the end of the day and let's talk. And then it was not even like a couple of months. And then I was promoted to senior writer of the entrepreneurial division. So I do love to write, and it seems to be something very natural for me.
And I saw the transformation you went through when you wrote the book. And that's the beauty of writing a book, whether it's just your own story or writing a nonfiction book, regardless of what type of book you write, it makes you grow. It makes you become the person you want to become. I've witnessed that change. I've seen that change in you. I've seen that change in my clients. And on the more, I've seen that change within myself. Every time I write a book, I find that I'm growing to the next level. I'm becoming a better version of myself because it is scary. It's scary to write a book.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you write, you're putting yourself out there. It's a piece of your heart and soul. It's a
Absolutely.
piece of you that's out there. But you know what? I want to share something. Just a few days back, I got a PM from one of my readers, and they said, it's 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm reading your book, and it's almost like somebody came out of the book and told me, it's okay to be myself, and I am unique, and I'm special. And I saw that message in the morning, Lisa Marie, and I cried.
Absolutely.
So that's the power of putting yourself out there. Yes, it's scary, but when you are in the community, when you are in the circle of sisterhood, as you so mentioned, you grow.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is that as you're growing, you become a better version of yourself, and you're empowering yourself and you're empowering others.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. There have been a lot of people, throughout the last several years who just reached out to me and said, hey, thank you. Thank you for just being there. Thank you for the kindness. Thank you for spreading positivity in the world. We need it. And to me, I don't ever feel like I'm doing anything out of the ordinary. That's just who I am, right? But I realize that in this chaotic world we live in, people need that. People need that encouragement. People need to know that they're okay, that they have the capacity and the ability to live a better, fulfilling life. And so I sometimes maybe take that for granted, that it's just sort of second nature to me. Like, I just want all people to be happy, and I want women all over to be able to do whatever they want with their lives and have their own careers and be entrepreneurs. And I guess, it may not be that easy for a lot of people. So, you know, and I feel like especially right now, just with the way the world has changed, there's a lot going on. I feel like our anthology, The Art of Unlearning, is coming at a really profound time when people really do need they need moral support. They need better morale in general. They just need to feel like everything is going to be okay. Like you were just saying, when that reader messaged you.
And, one of the things as we learn, as we write the book, it's okay to be human.
Oh, God, yeah.
I feel that, that's the beauty of being a human being, flaws and all, because it's the key of accepting yourself. And that was one of the biggest things that I learned from book writing. It's always a good and great reinforcement to me that it's okay to be human. And if I've written something that's not right, if it's grammatically incorrect, or if it's not the exact message that I wanted to put it out there in those sentences, that's totally fine. I did my best, and that's what matters.
Absolutely.
And what matters is you're making a difference. And that's the key behind every single thing. Receiving begins with giving. So to me, this anthology is so close to our heart.
Yeah.
And just want to grow the circle where we can make a difference in our own lives, empower ourselves, energize ourselves, and empower others,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, just very quickly, I do want to touch upon this. You said that a reader had messaged you. Are you talking about your newest book, The Entrepreneur's Garden?
Yes.
The one that's an international best-selling book?
Yes.
Awesome. Tell me just a little bit more about that.
So The Entrepreneur's Garden, I just want to go back to probably like a year and a half when I broke my shoulder in multiple places. It was the right shoulder. I couldn't do anything. And it was a very, very tough time in my life. I was humbled. I could not get up by myself. I could not get out of the chair. I could not open the door. And when I was eating using my left hand. I'm drooling. And it's a very humbling time to realize that, oh yeah, first I thought I was human, but now I felt like I was not even human,
Yeah.
just a bag of bones and just something and like a jellyfish. So I realized, okay, I'm jellyfish, but that was the time when all my friends, including you, Lisa Marie, I had this warmth of blanket. I had this beautiful, beautiful time when I literally experienced divinity in my friends, my family who stood by me during this tough time. And that's when this book originated, that it's all about relationships. It's building and growing and evolving together, not just as yourself.
Right.
It's that community where you're coming together, where you're supporting each other, we are there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I say? This became my best buddy. I would speak into it, and so many times the recorder would type up like some wrong words. I'm saying something, it types up something, and I'm like getting very upset at the phone and rechanging it. And it took its time, but it's during that time the book came out, and I poured my heart and soul into it. And I was very fortunate. I'm blessed that, a lot of great people have endorsed the book.
I
And
know. Hello, Brian Tracy. I mean, hello. Like, your book is awesome.
oh, thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you.
I mean, Brian Tracy on the front cover, right? Like, giving you props. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. That
Thank you,
doesn't
Lisa Marie.
happen to just anybody, right? Like, he doesn't just endorse anyone. So that is absolutely incredible. And I am so, so fortunate to be on this journey with you. And I have to say, the women who have already joined us as co-authors for this book, they are so amped up as well. They're so ready. I get text messages from them about, ready to go, just sign the contract, ready to go, ready to go. And the women that we've talked with, we've listened to their stories. We know where they're coming from. And I cannot wait to really get this show on the road and just make this an epic movement. I'm ready, and I'm just so glad to be on the journey with you.
I'm blessed to be on this journey with you. Lisa Marie, you have a heart of gold, and it's awesome to be on journey with you.
Well, thanks so much for hopping on and chatting with me today. What we do want to let those of you who have stuck around and have been listening is, we want you to know that our call for authors is still open, although it won't be open for long. The deadline is approaching very soon. But if you are someone who has your own story of unlearning, right? So of overcoming challenges, setbacks, it doesn't matter how awful they may have been, but if you are someone that is in that process of healing and unlearning and coming into your own, then this opportunity is for you. And at the bottom of this video, we're going to put in a link that you can click on to apply. Now, it is free to apply. And of course, if we do select you to be an author in the anthology, there is a small investment fee that goes along with that, simply to cover costs, for production and copywriting and editing and all of that. But all of the royalties, guys, all the royalties minus cost, right? So post-production, are going to go to Kiva. So this is your chance to make your message a movement. So we welcome you. We want to hear from you. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Send them in the comment section below. Feel free to private message either of us. And let's just get this thing rocking. I mean, I'm ready to go. There's several other authors who have already joined us, and we are ready. So check the link below.
Oh, definitely. And we welcome you, and we want to join hands with you to take this message, not only the message to empower women through Kiva, but take your message and empower more women across the world.
Yes.
So we're waiting for you, and you're ready to get started and make 2017 rock.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Lisa Marie. Bye.